Hello, my name is Chris and I will review the 2020 Toyota Corolla Hatchback, which Toyota Canada lent me for the week, though this is a totally independent review. Firstly, I want to look at the exterior styling of this nightshade package. See if you can guess what that nightshade means. Toyota has made many efforts to appeal to a younger market, and I think they finally have. Sharp angles and 18-inch wheels with low-profile tires set the tone of this Corolla hatchback's personality, which differs from the Corolla sedan. Rear trunk room is very small, due in large part to an extremely high floor. Also, rear seating is average for the category, though Toyota does give you a cute cup holder in the door. In front, there is plenty of room and I was in an appropriate driving position. The manual controls may fool you in thinking there is no lumbar support, but there is, as I later discovered. The lumbar support makes these sporty and uncomfortable seats tolerable, and in their defense, I did spend 2 hours going up to Mont-Tremblant and back with no aches, only minor discomfort, and I did enjoy a day hiking there. During this trip, I especially appreciated the driving aids that were effective, especially when using the lane keep assist and the dynamic cruise together. The infotainment has CarPlay but no auto, and the touchscreen is large and complicated. Thankfully, tactile buttons guide you when you are in trouble. More complicated stuff are this steering wheel with 19 buttons and an overcrowded information screen in the dash. The leather and grips of the steering wheel are of good enough quality, and the climate control is easy to use with powerful AC. Cooling the car on low fan speed led to reduced cabin noise. The interior materials are good enough, and the design of this interior is highly utilitarian with, once again, an open airy feel. Road and wind noise, however, are average. Noteworthy is the ride. It is playful and only becomes undone over Montreal's roughest bumps despite its otherwise capable fully independent suspension. The steering feel is also playful and just right for this type of vehicle. In my opinion, the star of the show is the non-turbo 4-cylinder engine with the most reliable fuel injection system on the planet, the D4S system. D4S means that there are 2 injectors per cylinder, direct and indirect, ensuring long-term reliability. This engine is fun and full of pep, and matched with the direct shift CVT is perhaps the best drivetrain for this type of vehicle. The CVT has a mechanical first gear to eliminate the rubber band effect before becoming a conventional CVT. You have to drive it to believe it. Having owned a Scion FRS in the past, when Toyota wants to do fun, I know they can, and this Corolla's drivetrain and suspension and steering combination is perfect for this hatchback. Take note, Honda. Mixed driving without being too careful resulted in 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers on average. Official numbers are 7.5 liters in the city and 5.8 liters on the highway. Here are my thoughts on the road. Hello, car lovers driving the 2020 Toyota Corolla Hatchback. I tried this car maybe a year ago, doing it again to see what I think, because I've driven a lot of its competitors and how it stands, and I'll make a few comments from there. The exterior styling I find looks very nice. I love the youthful direction Toyota took in terms of exterior styling. It seems that manufacturers have decided that the hatchbacks were going to a much younger clientele. If we look at the Honda Civic, if we look at the Kia Forte, if we look at the Hyundai Elantra N GT, these are very youthful oriented cars, and I guess manufacturers are giving up on the mature hatchback buyer. They think they're probably going to go buy a small SUV, and they may very well be right. Nevertheless, I must say this exterior, beautiful, nice mags. I find that manufacturers in the compact class, in terms of the spacing of their options, you go from 16-inch tires off into 18-inch tires. I think there's room there for a 17-inch tire for perhaps the slightly more reasonable buyer. I mean, you do get less fuel economy and you do get more road noise with these big tires, and it shows with this vehicle. When you're driving on the highway, there is quite a bit of noise from the tires. What else about this vehicle? Well, on the inside now, the engine, very sprightly. The transmission off the line, very good. I would say this is one of the better powertrains from Toyota, just in terms of the drivability. That little boost in power versus the regular Corolla is just, it makes the driving experience so much better, and the fuel economy is excellent. I've been doing quite a bit of highway, but yet quite a bit of city driving in the city of Montreal with its shitty roads. I've been getting 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is kind of amazing for a vehicle of this size. These are subcompact numbers in a compact car, and I think in good part it is because of the transmission. The CVT is very good. The interior aesthetic now, well, what about the interior aesthetic? Well, Ross makes the very clever remark that it is kind of almost SUV-ish in terms of the ruggedness of the presentation. Not ugly presentation, just a general sense of it looks built to last. And there are echoes of perhaps the older RAV4 that I notice here now that I'm looking at it for a second and third time. The material quality, I can't complain about, right? You have soft touch everywhere. Or most places. You have a good leather on the steering wheel, a great shift knob. You know, the dials turn quality enough, and you would be forgiven for thinking that Toyota has caught up with the competition. I mean, in 2015 when they came out with the new Corolla, it was much better and it caught up in terms of aesthetic quality to its competition, yet kept its great reliability. In 2018 there was a slight refresh which made it even better, and this Toyota Corolla Hatchback is definitely much improved, much more sporty. However, I find some of its key competitors have jumped ahead. I can think of the Kia Forte, which is in another world in terms of interior quality, and also I can think of the Mazda 3, which completely dominates the class. So on that level, Toyota still, yes, it is fun to drive. I'll talk about that later, but it's still proposing reliability as its first and foremost draw. Let's talk about the drive now. Well, this drive is more sporty than you would think. Even though it has an independent suspension, it's taking bumps. The small bumps it takes really well, but it does get undone over the larger bumps. Usually the independent suspension takes those bumps better. However, it's just in terms that the low profile tires, and I think that the suspension is tight. Steering is very playful, very direct, much more direct than most of its competitors, I would say. So in that sense, the driving experience is very high level if you want a sporty drive. I would say the seats, I can't stand when Toyota tries to make a sporty seat. I'm never comfortable in them. However, they do hold you in place, so especially useful if you have the manual transmission where you can't use your left foot against the dead pedal to hold you in place. You're using both your legs, so these seats will keep you in place. That is the advantage of a highly bolstered seat. It's for the sporty driving. This vehicle is, I think, reasonably priced for what you're getting. The only thing that's missing, I think, from this Nightshade edition is perhaps an upgraded sound system. The infotainment is a mess. However, it is quality enough in operation. It is a touchscreen, even when you're driving, and there are hard buttons on the side to come back when you're stuck in one of the menus. I guarantee you'll be stuck in one of them. Here, the dashboard, very good. I find the display on the right-hand side to be very, very compact. The writing is very small, and sometimes when you're looking for the information, like for example, am I on cruise control? What speed did I set the cruise control to? I find you're squinting almost to see that information. So I think I would put the speedometer on the right, and I would put the digital display in the middle and increase the font size. The electronic aids of Toyota are very useful. I was driving yesterday on the highway in traffic. I had put the cruise control. You could literally let go of the steering wheel and the gas and the brakes, and the car was doing everything by itself. Of course, you have to keep the hand on the steering wheel because the system will remind you, but they are very effective in keeping your lane and keeping the speed and following traffic. So that is a good experience. Well, I think I can't understand why somebody would lease a Toyota. Neither would Ross. He makes that point often. I just think if you're buying a Toyota, you're going for the long-term reliability, buy it. And anyways, you won't have any problem selling it because the resale value is so good, and these cars are in demand in the used market. so that won't be a problem. And those are my thoughts. By the way, if you like this video, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. And if you really like it, you should subscribe. I don't have any sponsors. I don't make any money with these videos. So I'm literally paid with your likes and your subscriptions. And that is it.